What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Benny on the Beat video series. Yes, we're back. We took last week off. We didn't have a video, and the outrage was monumental. I did not expect the backlash. There were two comments. I think there were two of you. There were two very, very upset comments wondering where the video was. But we are back, and better than ever. I've been back in the gym working out. Can you tell?
Nope.
Guess that gives us a sponsor for today's video. This video brought to you by Dad Bod, when mediocre became the standard a long time ago. Am I not beautiful anymore? God, how long has this been here? So most of you have probably been here and seen our videos before, but if you happen to be here for the first time, this is where I go through and give you a recap of the calls that I've had at work. I am a police officer in a city environment, and we take some highlights throughout my week and tell you guys about some of the stuff that I've experienced as a cop. Before we get into that recap, we like to go back to last week's video and actually look at some of the comments and questions from you guys, because you guys leave some really good comments and some good questions as well. So we're gonna go through and look at a few of those, and then we'll get right into the calls that I had. Recovering Californian. Oh, Recovering Californian is a veteran on this channel. They've been here forever. Knowing what you know now and experiencing all that you've experienced to this point in law enforcement, if you could go back, would you still be a cop? Oh, deep question. To be honest, the answer would have to be yes. I think I would still do what I've done. I have no regrets about the career choices I've made. I've enjoyed being a police officer. That being said, I can honestly tell you I'm at the stage of my career where I'm very much looking forward to retirement and passing the torch on to another generation. It's been a very interesting job, but it is not something that I want to do for 25, 30, 35, 40 years, like some cops do. Of course, at the same time, I really wanted to be a ballroom dancer. I don't know. I think I'd still do this, but there's a lot of things that I would love to do. Mike Harrington, please do this question on the next one. Ben, would you want to train new officers? Do you plan on staying within law enforcement for your whole career? Also, do you want to be a detective? Ooh, sneaky. You got like 3 questions in there. Mike, I actually have trained other police officers. It's called being a field training officer or an FTO, and I have done that at the last agency that I came from. I trained quite a few new police officers. I enjoyed it, but it's also very stressful and frustrating at the same time. It sucks to be in control all the time and then be put in the passenger seat to see a newbie handle everything and just be cringing at all the mistakes. It's tough, it's frustrating, but it's also rewarding to have that opportunity to steer them in the right direction to begin with, right? To help them to be a good cop and not go out there and just hammer everybody and just be a jerk to everyone. I plan on staying within law enforcement for the remainder of my career, which for me, I'm planning on being 20 years. So when you say like my whole career, I'm gonna do a whole nother career, whole nother job after I retire from this, and I don't know yet exactly what that's gonna be. I'm open to suggestions. If you guys think I'd be really good at something, this might be interesting. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think I should do for my next career. That ought to be good. And last part of the question, do you want to be a detective? I've done some detective work before, but I've never actually been a full-time detective, and it's not something I would mind trying. I am interested in some of the things that they do. Also, just for the change of pace, since I've really been a street beat cop, my whole career. So yeah, I'm interested in being a detective. Dark Phantoms want to be a firefighter. Where is this question going? Mount a hose on top of your car. Maybe the repair shop will have to fix the hose too, though. Dark Phantoms. Put him on the list. Oh, you guys. You guys. Alan, as the Bible said in John 8:32. Hey, yes. We got some Sunday school going on here. Preach, brother. Preach. Will the truth. Well. The truth is out. You want to be a firefighter. You needed to be a firefighter, and you couldn't handle the academy. Oh, Alan goes on the list too. Stupid firefighters. I can't even remember exactly what I said in the last video, but I must have, I don't go back and watch my videos, guys. I post them and I move on to the next one, so I must have said something. Was that the one where I admitted, I might have wanted to be a firefighter? It lies. It was all a lie. It was a lie. It was just to save face with the firefighters that watch our channel. I take it back. CX Joker, hey FuzzFam, loving the series. I have a question for you. You had said your department is very busy. When do you usually write your reports? Is there a dedicated time, or is it end of the day kind of thing? Much love and keep on uploading. It's a great question. CX, it depends on the officer. Some officers will hold all their reports to the very end of shift. They'll just take call after call after call after call, and then at the end of the day, they kind of go out of service and just do all their reports. I don't like doing it that way because I can't stand having things looming over me that I still haven't finished. Not to mention when I'm writing a report, I want it to be as accurate as possible while it's fresh in my mind. I don't want to mix and muddle it up with other calls and start confusing facts. So for me, I handle reports right after I handle the call. Some agencies are shorthanded enough that there's only a couple officers out and you guys don't have the luxury of doing reports after calls. If there's a priority call that comes in, you're gonna have to go handle it and not sit there and do reports. In my department, there's enough cops out there that usually we can sit down and do our reports at the end of a call and just get it all done at once, and other officers can handle calls if they come in. Fortunately, that's the way that it is for us, and that's the way I like it.
Stop it.
Mario Loziola. Jeez, I suck at saying people's names. I'm sorry, Mario. Why haven't you joined SWAT? Mario, I was interested in joining SWAT a long time ago in my career. I was planning on going down that route, and then to be honest, I ended up joining the Army. I was 28 years old when I entered the Army, and I went in with the goal of becoming a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and we've talked about that on other videos. I won't go into it today, but that took up all of my time at that point in my career when I was doing all that gung-ho, like hua type stuff. And so I did that instead of going into SWAT, and for me, at this point, I feel like the time has passed, and I don't really want to go in and do all that at this point in my career. And Speeds, yay, you actually got a bonsai tree. Yes, I did. You don't have to go to the trouble of editing. The real bonsai tree, guys. We got this real bonsai tree in the mail from you guys. In our last mail time video, you saw that. And you can see that our pirate parrot that we got in the mail as well has taken up abode in the bonsai tree. It's a thing of beauty. Satellite Steve, hey Fuzz, love your videos. Just got 2 questions. Man, you guys are working it. You guys are working it. You're getting multiple questions in with each question. Whew. I'll do my best. Number 1, do police skip applications from people from other countries when they apply to be a US citizen? No, absolutely not. If you got everything in order as far as your citizenship, it has no bearing whatsoever if you're from another country. In fact, in this day and age, that is probably something that could benefit you because there's such a push for diversity and people from other backgrounds and experiences. I think if anything, it would help you. Number 2, do you know anyone who works or worked in law enforcement who is from another country? Yes. Yeah, every department I've ever worked in has officers from other countries. From the UK, as I want to work in the US as a cop, as I have personal reasons to be there in the US for. Satellite Love. Satellite Love. Where did I get Satellite Love from? Steve, that's awesome, and I wish you the best of luck. All right, maybe just a couple more. Black and buck skin. Do you prefer to work days or nights? I'm at a point in my career where I actually prefer either the day shift or the swing shift. I've worked plenty of graveyards in my career, and once again, kind of a younger man's thing. I don't like what it does to my sleep schedule. I have a very hard time when I have to be up between the hours of like 3 to 6 a.m. That sucks for me. Another question that police officers love to ask me as an aspiring officer: why did you become a police officer? They then follow up with, you're not allowed to say you want to help people. So what was your reason? Yeah, that is kind of the norm out there these days because so many people have said, I want to make a difference and I want to help people. So people think it's disingenuous to say that, but that can still be a very valid reason. In fact, it should internally be a reason why you want to do this job, to actually help people and make a difference. When they say that though, they're talking, I think, usually about the interview, because so many people say that, they expect it, and you want to stand out and be memorable in your interview. So that's why most people say you're not allowed to say that. Give me another reason. So I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but I'll just sum it up. Like, one of the biggest reasons I became a cop is I wanted to put bad guys in jail. I told the story about reading the Sunday paper on a Sunday morning about a family hit by a drunk driver. Half the family was killed. Drunk driver lived and was fine and like didn't even seem to care. That, like, it lit a fire. It lit a fire in me. I was so mad. I was so angry about it. I wanted to do something about it. And it was right then that I started thinking, I want to be a part of actually going out and physically finding these people and stopping them before they hurt people. So that was an experience I had as a teenager that really lit that fire in me and got me really, really wanting to get out there and do something and do this job. Okay, last one for today. Again, I can't get to all of them, guys, but I love this part of the video, so thank you. And please keep the comments and questions coming, and if I don't answer it, don't hesitate to keep asking it. Eventually, I may get to it. Tear Talk. Guys, I love hearing comments from Tear Talk. Tear Talk has a YouTube channel and is in corrections, so he goes through the corrections side of things. If you're interested whatsoever in that part of law enforcement, or think that's where you may start out, go over and check his channel out. He's got some good content on there and a great perspective from the correction side of things. He says that close-up at the beginning really shows confidence and good dental coverage. Let's get down to business! Oh, yes, that was an absolutely beautiful close-up. Thank you very much. You know, when we posted that video last week and Mrs. Fuzz saw it, she was cringing so hard. She told me never, ever to do that again or show it again. So, sorry, baby. I have to give the people what they want, and they want more of this. Business! Well, guys, how about that for a Q&A session? That was like, what, almost the first 10 minutes of the video? Jeez. You know what? I make no apologies. I love talking to you guys. I love answering your questions, and I'll still put a timestamp in here so you guys that are a bunch of wusses can just skip right to this part where we start talking about the calls. All right, so on patrol, out on the streets of America, fighting crime. Let's see, you know, the problem now going back is I don't even remember these calls. See, look at this one. This was a domestic. So I went to a domestic disturbance, Spanish speaking, domestic with 25-year-old son. I'm looking at the address. I'm looking at who came with me. I don't remember. Sorry, guys. I don't remember this one at all. Next.
That's a great way to start things off.
Okay, I just made a little video to myself to remind me to talk about this one. So this wasn't a call for service, but I have to share it with you guys. This was a officer-involved traffic accident. No, it wasn't me. Bunch of jackwagons. All right, so here's what happened. I was sitting in our parking lot. We have an underground parking area for our police station, and I was working on a report. You guys are always asking about reports and stuff, and this was one of those times I was taking a minute to catch up on reports and was working on one, and all of a sudden I hear this car crash sound, and we're in like our parking structure, right? So I hurry and look over, and this poor officer from the graveyard crew, I don't know who he was. He had totally, he ran directly into one of the massive support pillars for the underground parking. And these things are like, I don't know, I'd guess like 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, which makes a square.
It's math.
And he hadn't clipped it. He had run like directly into the thing. So of course I was laughing, and then one of my buddies from the swing shift crew who I was parked next to, we both looked at each other and were shaking our head and laughing. Because I mean, what kind of idiot? You have to be a certain level of moron to run into a pole, right?
It was at this moment that he knew.
I hurry and throw it in drive. I turn the wheel to the right, which of course turns the truck in this direction. And what do you think was in this general area where I couldn't see because of my stupid computer screen being up?
Penguins.
No, not quite.
China?
No, a freaking light pole.
Like I was saying, it could happen to anybody. It's not a funny thing. It's an accident. It probably wasn't his fault. It was just bad luck, and we should go easy on him. It could happen to anybody. At least it was a crappy old Impala that took the hit. That was for you, James. You guys have got to go over to Twitch and watch our live streams to get all the inside jokes. All right, next call was classified as an unwanted person trespasser. I loved the details on... I forgot about this call. Listen to this. Another call from the male who was on scene was hit in the leg by food thrown by suspect. Was hit by a cheeseburger, wanting to speak to an officer to know about what charges could be filed. So I guess on this one, this was like a Burger King or McDonald's or something, and there was maybe a homeless person or a transient in there that made a scene, got upset about some stuff, and somehow like a cheeseburger was thrown. Cheeseburgers were flying, and just a random innocent victim, another customer in the store, had one of these cheeseburgers hit his leg. He got caught in the fray. Again, innocent victim, and wanted to talk with us about potential criminal charges and, as a victim, what his recourse was. One of the interesting parts of this job is sometimes when you get certain calls is calling the people, just anticipating and finding out exactly what's going through their mind. Like trying to ask them, so let me get this straight. Now, what's your question? But I'm just thinking in my mind, like what even possesses you to go to the time to call the police to ask? I don't know. It's one of the reasons I enjoy this job. Then I got to go meet with the manager of an apartment complex. They had video of a guy in their building that was impersonating a security officer. This guy's got a set on him. So what this guy did, he came into a secured apartment building, and on the video there were tenants from the building that came and talked with him. You could tell they came and like challenged who he was or asked if they could help him. And instead of like just getting scared and leaving like most people would do, he started spinning this story. I started thinking of that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't think of it. I'll put it on the screen, you know, right here, that movie. But he comes up with this story about how he's the new security manager and hasn't been able to get keys to the office yet, but he's just scoping out the area as the new security manager. Totally sells it, hook, line, and sinker to these people, and starts walking around the lobby after they leave and forcing his way into doors that are closed. Luckily, he wasn't able to get into anything where he actually stole something. He didn't cause any damage to anything and left, but totally sold these tenants on who he was. Then we got called up to some tennis courts with a report of a bunch of teenagers skateboarding. No, not skateboarding. You know, every cop's got personal opinions on different laws and things that bother them more. Skateboarding, I don't know. It's probably because I did skateboard a little bit in high school. I had friends that were skateboarders. I look at it as actually a challenging sport. I think it takes a lot of skill to be a skateboarder. So I went up and found these kids and just asked them to come over to talk to me for a second. So I asked them to clean up their mess. They had brought some chairs onto the court to jump over and stuff. And they were really cool about it. They moved their stuff and left. No big deal. Oh, that's right. Then we had the stolen work truck. Talk about like people with a set on them on this week of calls. So I took a stolen vehicle complaint from a construction crew working on a CVS pharmacy in our city that was under construction, and they were unloading product from off the back of a trailer attached to one of their company work trucks, right? So as they're unloading all the product, all of a sudden they hear the car's engine rev, the truck's engine rev, and they turn around. It's driving out of the parking lot and turning on a main road that it was next to and cruising down the street. They had the truck running because they were in the process of unloading stuff from the trailer, and somebody hopped in and just left in it. I mean, when you're looking to steal a car in the first place, I'm not giving, you know, advice to criminals or anything here, but I would think in my mind, I'd look for something that would blend in a little bit, you know, a little inconspicuous, nothing that would raise attention, not a work truck with printed logos on the side and a 18-foot trailer on the back. You would think that'd be easy to find. That being said, we didn't end up finding it, at least immediately. So I don't know where they went with it, but they got lucky because usually that would stand out a little bit, you know? Oh, that's right. This is fun going back and looking at these. I totally forgot about some of these, and I'm glad I'm doing videos of these because I can go back later and remember some of these things from my career. So this one was a complaint from a neighbor, kind of an upper scale, nice type of a neighborhood, but he was complaining about a bunch of college students that were in the area filming without a film license. No. We've got Cheeseburger Man, we've got skateboarders on the tennis courts, and we've got film crews without a license. We got major crime, people. Major crime going on here. Holy crap. So I ran up there and I wanted to get the call before like a cop that actually would care about that and possibly potentially be a jerk to these kids. So I hurried and grabbed the call and ran up there, and sure enough, they were filming. They had some sweet gear. That's part of why I wanted to go. I wanted to see what kind of equipment they were running with. Oh, I don't know the Sony cameras that well, but it was one of their nice DSLRs, like a Sony AS7 II. I know I'm getting that wrong. They had a nice DJI stabilizer gimbal setup.
Nerd alert!
So I let him finish the scene. I pulled up in the middle of the road, and as I rolled down the window, I heard one of the kids say, "Crap, now the cops are here." Which is understandable. When we show up, people are expecting, like, maybe not a pleasant interaction. So what I like to do is change those perceptions. That's part of why I got into this job. So I got out, approached these kids, talked to them. I think the first thing I said was, "Nice camera. What's the gear you guys are running with? What's that gimbal?"
Nerd.
And I started quoting off models, makes, and talking to them, and they started like, "What? This guy knows his stuff."
Nerd.
And we had a nice conversation. Asked them what they were filming, what they were doing it for, and I let them know, you know, somebody had complained, and I let them know right away. I think it's a ridiculous complaint. I don't care if you guys have a film license or not. Just talk to them about being in the roadway and just making sure they were being safe because it had gotten dark and stuff. But super cool group of kids. They actually asked about why I knew camera equipment and stuff. I told them I did a YouTube channel. They all asked the YouTube channel name. They got out their phones and found us and subscribed right there. So hey, maybe some of you guys are actually watching this video, so welcome to the fam. Looks like I made a traffic stop. Oh yeah, that's right. This one, the reason I remember this was this girl was pulling off of a side road onto a main road, and I was traveling along the main road. She turns right in front of me. I had to slam on my brakes to avoid hitting her. We almost collided, and she didn't even realize. She kept bebopping down the road as I followed and got behind her. I started running her license plate and stuff just to, you know, make sure the car wasn't stolen or something crazy. Lit her up, pulled her over, and she was just, the poor thing, she was shaking like a leaf. You could tell she hasn't been pulled over very many times, or whatever the reason, she might have been nervous. But she had recently moved here from out of state, and I just explained why I stopped her. She got even more freaked out and started shaking. I had to tell her, like, you know, just no accident. Everything's okay. I just wanted to make sure, you know, you were okay. And when I do traffic stops, guys, I don't like to keep people in suspense. If I know that I'm not giving them a ticket, I'm just stopping them to make sure they're okay or do something educational, I tell them right off the bat, look, I'm not giving you a ticket for this. Just wanted to make sure, you know, A, B, C, whatever it is. I still ask to see their license and go back and check to make sure they're not actually a, you know, axe murderer out of another state or something. But I definitely told her right off the bat, I'm not giving you a ticket for anything. Just wanted to make sure you were okay and let you know that you about creamed a cop car. Holy crap, we're already going over like 20 minutes on this video. Okay, we're gonna call it there. I have more calls to talk about, and I know I'm gonna get a few of you guys saying, why didn't you just keep going and just they want long videos. You guys want some long videos. Well, come on, this was a longer video. I don't think we've ever had one quite this long. So we'll have plenty more to talk about next time. I don't usually anticipate the Q&A stuff going as long as it did today, but you guys had those good questions. If you guys are not already, I want to invite you, number one, to hang out with us on our Discord server. The link to that is in the description of all of our videos. It's an online chat room. It's where we all get together, hang out, share stories, do some fun stuff. I pop in there whenever I can, sometimes do some voice chat, sometimes just text with you guys. It's a great place to interact with the FuzzFam community. So if you haven't already come over there, give it a try. As always, thank you everyone for the love and support. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel. If for some reason you're not, fix yourself. Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Let's level up. Pedal to the metal when I play the cut. Doing double time like double dutch. Stay a dime a dozen, so I double up. These late nights finna pay off. Gonna take flight, no days off. My blood pumping, my blade sharp. Young Savon, trying to save off.
Oh my gosh, water has never tasted so good.